focus the Godrej Group, and Adi Godrej, chairman of the Godrej Group, joins us on the show right now. Mr. Godrej, hi, good morning. Firstly, inflation for the month of July was below expectations. Do you see any room for a rate cut in the next credit policy?
I think there should be a rate cut. It's not a question of room for rate cut. It's very clear that the need of the economy is to accelerate growth. So I think in any case, the RBI should be cutting rates so that growth improves. And I think inflation will be subdued going forward. Inflationary expectations are low. And if growth picks up with lower rates, I think it will also lead to an appreciation of the rupee, which would contribute to even lower inflation.
Mr. Godrej, good morning. Nikunj also joining in. Let's talk specifics here. Specifics when it comes to Godrej Consumer and some of your key product categories. What exactly is happening in your household insecticide market and the household soap market?
Volume growth in soaps is low. It's around 5%. But value growth is higher because of price increases as a result of cost increases. Whereas in household insecticide, both volume and value growth are very strong.
Mr. Godrej, the volume growth in hair colors, has that picked up? And in the first quarter of FY13 was not really good for the hair color segment. So how do you see the prospects of this particular segment panning out?
Yes, volume growth will be strong during the financial year, we expect. We had a lower value growth in the first quarter because the first quarter the previous year was high as a result of introduction of our new variants in the expert range. So there were sales not only made to consumers during that quarter, but also for stocking in the trade. As a result of that, the base was high.
Mr. Godrej, palm oil is a very important raw material for the entire FMCG industry, at least for the soap industry. Given the way how globally palm oil prices have cracked, should we expect your FMCG business now to report a sharp expansion in operating profit margins?
No, palm oil costs are still quite high, so we don't see any major change in the cost of raw material for the soap industry.
And how has the rupee movement affected you this quarter?
Again, rupee has not changed very much relative to quarter one, so I don't see any major impact of the rupee rate as of now.
So what is your outlook on operating profit margins going forward?
I cannot make any forward-looking statements, but I expect margins will continue reasonably well.
Mr. Godrej, any significant pricing actions in any of the product categories that we can expect from your company?
Well, that's difficult to predict because prices are raised by brand managers as they see their costs, or prices can even decline sometimes, but I don't expect much change because costs seem to be pretty much as they were.
Do you see more consolidation in the FMCG sector in this current calendar year, which is 2012? And also, are you looking at acquiring something?
We continue to look at acquisitions which are strategic and accretive, but obviously we can't talk about individual acquisitions until they are made, because we are obliged to inform the stock exchange first in the case of any acquisition.
Mr. Godrej, how are you seeing traction in the real estate market then, and are you witnessing any uptick in demand?
No, not really. I think because interest rates are high, mortgage rates are high, demand is a bit on the slow side. However, Godrej properties sales have increased quite dramatically over the previous year because we've added many new projects. So we expect to continue to grow very strongly on the top line in Godrej properties.
So Godrej, the finance minister recently has indicated banks to put more pressure on real estate players given the fact that developers are holding on to inventory and they are not cutting prices. Do you see it, or do you foresee a price correction in the near future?
No, I don't expect any price correction because costs are quite high. And it's not a question of banks putting pressure. I was quite surprised to hear that statement. How can the banks put any pressure on real estate developer unless they are defaulters to the bank? The banks have no say in your pricing policy and or other policies of a company. Unless they are defaulters and they're going to banks for extension of the loans or something of that sort. So I don't see any impact. In fact, prices are generally rising because costs are rising. And I don't think there is any major unsold inventory. I don't think any developers keep very large unsold inventories. I think these are some of the media reports which I don't agree are correct.
Mr. Godrej, what kind of launches can we expect from the company in FY13?
So we have several launches lined up. We've already launched several projects in this financial year. We will launch new projects. We have also announced new projects. Our new project pipeline was the highest ever in the last financial year, and we expect it will continue to do extremely well in this financial year. And a lot of our projects will be launched. In some cases, earlier launched projects, new phases will be launched. So I expect, as I said, very strong growth in Godrej Properties.
Mr. Godrej, delighted to have you on ET Now. Thank you for joining us.